Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Tuesday, June 16th. Where's all the time gone? My God, Disclosure is happening. The show's every day. We don't get a day off. Yeah, we do on Sundays. But you know what? Before we get on to the frickin' top stories today, could have said we saw this coming. We might have in the past. We'll talk about that shortly. On that note, let's go ahead and welcome in our audience and see who the heck we have out there. We have Amigo Rules and Anne Marie's out there in the chat. This is a live show, folks. We're welcoming the live audience. We got April Coleman's in the chat along with Area 51 Unvetted. Aussie's out there along with Banana Bowie and Brains and Casey, and good to see you, Craig. We got Dave C and Dee Dee. D. There you go. Ed Brown's out there, as well as Eliza Teal. We got Elvis Roten. Good to see you, my friend. Firefly Flavio's out there, along with Geraldine Durazio. We got Ghost, Grateful Benny, JJ, J-Cat Meow, JD First Shizzle. There you go. Joe Has Gas, along with Just In Case. We got Kelly Brote and those piercing blue eyes. Good to see you always, Kelly. Who else we got out there? We got Light Melinda, Lori G. Lou is out there. Louie. Good to see you, Louie. Great name. McCarolyn's out there, along with Mr. Drews. We got Michael and Mr. Joey B. We got Mr. Ram. A lot of Misters today. And Mr. Vibrating. Well, interesting. Randy Robert John's out there, along with Over the Top Lady. Good to see you. Sam and Scooby Dooby Gooby. We got Sonyo, along with Steve Mateo. Teresa Loves Our President, the Truth Master, Wendy Joe. When Weebs React, Who Farted 420, and of course, Zig Corvetti is in there. Would you look at that? Well, that means I have to say those three words. Mike. How the hell are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing well. And it looks like, again, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Yeah. Should be a very interesting show.
Yeah, it is. And it's interesting to see it's all kind of coming together like Lou talked about many years ago. Back in 2021, He was talking about.
Yeah.
He has his 5 pillars of UAP engagement. He's talked about that in the past, and we're kind of going that way. If anything, what are we talking about, folks? Yeah, we're talking about, there's a new interagency UAP governance board that's been put in place by President Trump to go ahead and assist and move the process of disclosure forward. Before you say, oh no, what do we got going on here? What we're looking at is a group of individuals who actually already met yesterday, who are going to help with the overall processing of the tens of millions of UAP files that the government has to figure out what goes into the national security bucket that we're not going to get. What is the stuff that we actually can bring it out? Getting scientists to actually look at the data and to start corroborating some of the sightings and the information with unclassified science data. So it's all kind of coming together. We heard about Avi Loeb the other day coming out and announcing his UAP Science Council that they're putting together to try and figure out what exactly is in all these historical sightings, but more importantly, what's going on today, Mike, and what kind of policies should be established. So there's a lot of inner workings happening that's taking the selection of records out of some probably interns' hands, coming from suggestions coming from the House of Representatives, because I doubt the Senate's doing anything on this, and to actually put it into a formalized, streamlined process where you can start getting this interaction. But there's going to be more going than just the governance board and the science council. There will be multiple councils. Before I get too far ahead of myself, Mike, is that pretty good? No.
Nope, there's the show,
folks. Yeah, is that a pretty good kind of overview?
It's a good breakdown. No, it is. And it means that now we're just getting started, and they're going to have multiple councils, and we're going to see where all this goes. That's the bottom line.
Oh,
hopefully we get disclosure like we were looking for, with some really interesting information that we know the government has.
Yeah. So we're talking about a U.S. government is establishing a new interagency UAP governance board to coordinate investigations and declassification. Kind of make this a bit more official than just coming from a presidential tweet.
Right. And we haven't gotten the executive order on disclosure yet, but
No.
it looks like we're moving slowly in the right direction on this.
You know, one of the biggest problems we had looking at disclosure with the 3-time failed UAP Disclosure Act, which is probably going to have no reason to come forward at this point, was they were going to have their 12-member board that was going to have the opportunity to go ahead and say, yes, this information should come out, or no, this information should not come out. And it's going to be, if you want to call it, pushed into, bring it out 10 years down the road.
Or 20.
Or
right.
20 years down the road. Now, that was all going to be appointed by Congress.
Right.
That mess is all gone now because all this is being run from the part of the government that's been covering everything up, Mike. It's all going to be handled through the executive branch, which means there's going to be no infighting. What they're working on is going to be declassified as the information they want to bring out.
Right. Exactly.
Now,
so hopefully it'll be a smooth transition.
Don't think we're going to get information about the energy systems or about how the craft are made or maybe some of the performance characteristics, right? We're going to get the details about the craft, about the sightings, the stuff that doesn't make its way into the realms of national security, of defense of our, government, and for potentially the creations of weapons platforms. So some stuff we're going to get, but we're not going to get any of it. But still, where we're headed is so much more information than we've never gotten before in the past because no other president has taken this on.
No. Not at all. And they had 80 years to do this, and they refused. So at least now we're getting, well, look, you've always said for years now, something is always better than nothing.
Right.
I agree with that. At least we're getting something.
Oh, exactly. And I've got we've got some posts out here with regards to this. We've got some information coming from Liberation Times. Christopher Sharp, great guy, really goes over the board. He was one of the first people to bring this out, then followed by Dean Johnson along those lines. Let me go ahead and bring up the data, and we'll start going through some of this stuff. Video full. Shit, I screwed with that last night.
Yep.
Thomas. All right. Here we go. Stay small for now. All right. So in our first piece that we're getting into, OVNI, Total Liberation Times. To support the president's directive on UAP transparency, ODNI, alongside with the FBI and Department of War, established a UA governance board to provide guidance, recommendations, and coordination at the interagency level, bringing together military, law enforcement, the intelligence community, and other civil agencies. Now, the mission is to serve an interagency body that can use each member's capabilities and unique authorities to cohesively address national security threats posed by UAP. This is one of the things, if you remember, when Elizondo resigned, he said the government wasn't taking the national security threats by UAP. The governing board will also integrate and optimize interagency process involved in the investigation of UAP incidents and collection procedures used to analyze UAP data to ensure a more effective support to the all-domain anomaly resolution.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
If you're trying to help them at all, that's not the point.
Yeah, the
governing point to make.
Yeah, the governing board will assist in the timely coordination of declassification of UAP-related information in accordance with Executive Order 13-526, which is an executive order that specifically deals with the declassification of classified national security information. And why is this important, Mike? Because every single thing that comes under disclosure, that comes under the umbrella of national security, of UFOs, it's all classified under national security.
Right. It's been like that for over 80 years. And we've been fighting and pushing back against it. And now it looks like, seemingly at face value, they're trying to put some this organization into place to try to move ahead on that.
Well, I say organization, less disorganization. I think the process we've been getting so far has been disorganized. This is kind of bringing in a formal structure that we're going to get. Now, we've talked about that there's, actually, before I get a hold of myself, there's other information I want to go ahead and bring forward from X, coming from a message coming from Dean Johnson. You remember Dean, don't you, Mike?
I do, yes.
Oh, yeah. You guys got along so well.
Oh, we do, yeah.
Yeah. This statement was issued by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence in response to questions submitted by independent journalist Douglas Dean Johnson on June 16th. This morning, 11:45 a.m., apparently he went to get questions after Christopher Sharp find out what's going on. What are they saying? Same thing, folks. To support the president's directive on UAP transparency, OVNI alongside with this is the same
FBI thing. And Department of War.
FBI Governance Board to provide guidance, recommendations, and coordinate at the interagency level, bringing other military, law enforcement, intelligence community together. Governing board is supported. Yeah, they've got a canned statement that they're putting out, Mike. Now, one of the things that wasn't in the article that I didn't see from Christopher Sharp is the UAP Governance Board met for the first time yesterday, June 15th, 2026. So they've already met.
Yeah. But you know who I didn't see in that list? I didn't see CIA, Department of Energy, the usual suspects. There's a possibility they're not going to really play ball. Oh, the Air Force. They're not going to play ball and be a part of this.
Well, technically, CIA reports up through the ODNI. Technically.
Yes and no.
If you look at the organizational chart for the executive branch, all of the different intelligence agencies all report up through the ODNI.
Yeah, well, I think the one exception to that rule is probably the CIA and then the DOE.
Right.
Right.
Department of Energy is in its own part, but yeah, that information with the right work can also be declassified, which is a good step.
If they'll allow it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Problem dealing with them, CIA and DOE, is they have a habit of something they don't want anyone to get out and see. They erase it, delete it. Never existed.
Yep.
So they have their own ways of dealing with this.
Yep. It's one of those things where, yeah, we want to get the information out. They're only going to give so much out. But you know what? If they push hard enough and the president, remember, everyone in the CIA, Mike, they all work at the pleasure of the president. So if the president, if people aren't following along and they're trying to rock the boat or prevent stuff, clogging up the pipes, they're easily removed.
They can be if they are acknowledged as obstacles and the president wants to do something about it.
Yeah.
But they get away, and they've gotten away with this for over 80 years because they don't make themselves publicly known. Mm-hmm. They blend in the background and they get away with murder like they've been for the past 80 plus years. So we'll see. Hopefully somebody is aware of these individuals, and now with a governing board like this, they'll maybe take action.
So I've got some info. You remember Michael Schellenberger, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
Another one. All right. So I've got a string of tweets with him with info about the Science Council put together, along with then kind of flowing into the new governing board. So let's go ahead and get this up and go through it. Here we go. Professor Avi Loeb just confirmed to me by phone that his UAP advisory board will not have any access to any classified information and has no legal authority. So this is like a council group, Mike, that's going to be going there to go ahead and, rule on information, but they're not going to. So if you want to call it, Avi Loeb last night said that if they wanted him to go ahead and sign a non-disclosure agreement, he would do it because he understands that some stuff needs to be kept quiet. But according to this, he's not going to have any, any classified information that's going to come his way. However, it doesn't mean they may not get the declassified information before the public actually reaches it. So it could be declassified, goes to the Science Council for some of the stuff, then eventually normal humans here will see it.
Right. And the reason why he has no legal authority for classified information is because to get legal authority for classified information, you have to be on government payroll. And he already said in that last interview we played last night that he's not getting paid by the government to do this. It's voluntary.
No, well, they're going to get a per diem. They'll get travel and expenses to that, but that's about all they're going to be getting, Mike.
It's not payroll.
It's
so
not
yeah,
payroll. Nope. They're not being paid for any other stuff.
Right.
But then again, Avi Loeb has the opportunity to go ahead and charge his usual appearance rate of $20,000 to the different news agencies to go ahead and help pad the expenses.
Well, right. Well, that he can do. Absolutely. And it's still a far cry away from the billion he's trying to get out of the government and Congress. But, good luck then.
He'll never get it. Professor Loeb, he'll never get it. Well, you know what? There is so much money they're saving from all that waste, fraud, and abuse through Medicaid. There may be some slush sitting around. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. You never know. You're right.
Corporal Abe, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I find it interesting that now Avi Loeb has been basically demoted to the level of NASA, right? With as far as him and his science friends can go, and him and his science friends don't work in NASA, and NASA didn't really tell us anything. So no classified information for Avi Loeb and his friends. I just don't. I've lost more motivation and faith in this whole science council that they're putting together.
There's some good people in there, but it's basically to take the data that the multiple layers of signal intelligence to be able to get experts to go ahead and take a look at, especially, the gem in the rough there is Matthew Sedegas.
It is. He's a good friend of ours.
Though. That's my question is like, okay, so at the end of the day, what are we going to get from that? Just like, is it going to be better than what we got from NASA? That's my question.
Well, NASA hasn't given us shit yet.
Because they don't have access to classified information.
NASA is an intelligence agency.
And they do have access. Yeah.
Today they do. And now they don't have to give us because they're an intelligence agency today. And Avi Loeb's thing is not. But in the past, NASA was not. And then they were giving us press briefings. But now that they're an intelligence agency, they do not have to.
But NASA's
so what is the stated goal of this council is my question. Is it going to be better than the past NASA?
Yeah, of course, because they're actually looking at the real results from the observations coming in from the IC and from the Department of War, and they're going to be able to get the data and do a proper analysis on it. So,
the data is my question. If they don't have access to classified information,
what was that again?
How are they going to get the data if they do not have access to classified information? Essentially, they are the same thing as NASA was in the past.
Earlier that the information, the signals intelligence could be declassified. They could see that data first to write up an assessment on the signals intelligence. And then when it's released to the public, just like we see a little paragraph from RO kind of saying what's going on, we may get similar something like that coming from the Science Council. One particular way. So the solution, any unhappiness about the board is simply, okay, start your own advisory board. Okay, Professor Loeb said he would also support other UAP advisory boards. Mike, there's a good chance, based on the notes I have from Lou in the past, we may be getting a religious advisory board as well. It's not out of the question.
I really hope that's not the case, because that will, I think, complicate things more than it needs to right now. But we'll see.
It's not about stopping the process. It's about giving them the communication and knowledge that they're going to need to be required to go ahead and inform their flock, if you want to call it, or their followers, and to figure out how they're going to kind of guide through this. They're not going to be there to stop the process. They're going to be there to help guide their followers, if you want to call it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, it's they haven't created that religious board yet.
No, yet, not yet.
We'll see if they do, and if they do, how it'll shape up.
Oh yeah, it comes down to something called Lou Elizondo called it the 5 pillars of engagement with regards to engaging with the public and everyone on the UAP topic. We'll be going through the information here shortly as well. I have that for my notes going back all the way to 2021. All right. So these Loeb also said he would support other advisory boards, potentially like a religious one. So the solution to any unhappiness about the board is to simply start your own advisory board and demand equal treatment from the OVNI. None of them can legally have any authority, including access to classified material. He doesn't seem happy.
No.
Schellenberger said then the U.S. government has for decades actively spread disinformation about UFOs using ostensibly non-governmental actors, as the U.S. intelligence community has done for so many other issues. Yes, it has, but do we have any true evidence of that? Yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Arrow and Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick.
And Susan Goff, and the list goes on.
And Avi Loeb.
Yeah, and Avi Loeb. That's right.
Remember, we covered that yesterday. Yeah,
we did.
He's a little dirty, too. Let's move on.
Absolutely.
Thus, public concern and even alarm about the creation of an unelected body to decide what the public can and can't see is warranted. Such a body would be unconstitutional. But, Mike, the UAPDA,
yeah,
they were going to have a board of 12 people who were going to be recommended to the White House to be appointed to this review board. Remember, 12 people to go through tens of millions of files.
Yes.
Unrealistic.
Well, if you remember, Danny Sheehan was talking about also being able to pick some of those people who are going to be on that board.
Right.
Yeah, but that never happened.
No.
So, right.
But it's all moving forward. All the different stuff we had ever hoped the UAP Disclosure Act would ever try to force and strong arm the executive branch, unless you have someone in the executive branch, Mike, who's willing to play ball, it's not going to go anywhere, and luckily we do at this point.
Well, look at it like this. There's another way to see this. Everything that was in the UAPDA that got shot down, now it looks like the executive branch is putting it in place without any legislation. They're doing it on their own by forming this board, this governance board.
Completely.
Right. That's another way to look at this. That's a step in the right direction for disclosure.
Right. Again, a lot of people can complain, oh, we're not going to get it this way, or we're not going to get that, or I don't trust this, or I don't trust that. All I can say is we've gotten more from President Trump so far than we have gotten from any other president to date, period. So
right.
all it can do is go up.
Right, because it looks like every day we're getting something new added for disclosure. Which is a good thing, not a bad thing.
Exactly. Well, would you look at that? We've got 3 hands up already. Manuel, go ahead.
We do.
Manuel? You might be a little muted.
Sorry, I just have a little bit of news to pass on to you. It's for some kind of UAP conference coming up on July the 24th to the 25th, I think it is, for UAP in Toronto on the Toronto Conference Center.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Manuel.
No problem.
All right, let's get back on topic. Sweaty Nerd, your hand is up.
Yeah, I was going to piggyback, just basically on everything you just said. There's levels to this, you know what I'm saying? Like, as I see right now that they're setting up their council and their, I would say, the best in the world, top officials to get to the bottom of, disclosure, even vetting Catholic priests and stuff like that, it's which is good to have, leaders on there too as well.
Now, hold on a second. Whatever you just said, if you moved away from the mic, all of a sudden it got really muffled, and then he came back again.
Oh, my bad. So basically, like I was saying, to add religious leaders onto the council as well, which I think is another big step. You know what I mean? To full disclosure down because.
Yeah, see, there's something going on where every so many seconds, Sweaty, you get really muffled, then you come back and you're talking, but when you're muffled and talking like this, we can't understand what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
You want to double check into your mic, see what's going on.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you, sir. Edwin, Ryan, what's up?
I have two questions. I'm a little confused about how this panel works. Number one, is the UAP governance board a separate entity than the Scientific Advisory Council?
The Scientific Advisory Council reports up through the governance board.
So the governance board is a separate group, right?
It is the master group. It is an interagency
coalition working on behalf of the government. And this advisory board, which is voluntary and not on government payroll, has to answer to them. So that's the chain of command, Ryan.
Okay, the second question is, we don't know, do we know any names yet on the overall governing board?
What did I say earlier? They had the meeting. We don't know who is on the board yet, and that information has not yet been released.
All right. So
and may not be released.
We need to keep a very close eye on what's going on here, because we need to make sure that nobody on this board is going to, withhold information that they could release.
We have no insight into it. We have no governance over that board. That board is running on their own, so it's kind of we're going to be looking around to it. But the reason that board is there is to follow the orders of the President of the United States, and all these agencies have lined up to go ahead and support it. So we'll see where it goes.
Well, we need to keep a close eye on it. That's all I'm saying. You never just because of things we've seen in the past with funny business, people.
Hey, Ryan, why do you think we would not pay attention to it here?
Oh, I know. I know you would. I know you would. That's what this show is good for.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just, I've got my concerns, but I think it's a very good sign. That's all I want to say. So this show needs to point out if there's any names on the overall governance board that are suspicious. That's all. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Sweaty, you're back.
Yeah. No, I was saying basically overall that, I think, that they're going in the right direction as far as appointing, the right people for the right job, getting your top scientists, your top religious leaders. I'm assuming there's going to be probably more than just, having a priest on there. They're going to have other religious leaders on there as well. Just like in basketball terms, it's a process, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, like we're not going to get everything all at once, but at least we're getting something, because like you said, we haven't gotten anything from anybody in history except for this president. Regardless of how you might feel about him on politics and everything else, but it's one thing you can say, that he's stepping to the forefront, Oh, yeah. And he's putting it out there, so.
Yeah, there may be a reason why Lou Elizondo drove off to go hang out in D.C. You never know.
Thomas, just so you know, there's a poll queued up for this specific committee.
Put it out there, and I'll go through it.
You ready to go through it now?
Go for it. Start it up.
All right.
Get the sound effects going here.
My version poll,
works.
everybody. Here we go.
All right, our first poll this evening is out, friends. Let's go ahead and bring it up and see where it's going to take us. Gave Daryl's the keys to the Cadillac, and he's already going. Will this council have a meaningful impact on UAP understanding? Yes, breakthroughs ahead, 27%. Limited without classified access, 14%. 58% is saying mostly theater. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I know we had a poll earlier today on the same thing. I'll find it later. But yeah, let's, okay, Google, set a timer for 1 minute, please. All right, we already have 70 votes in. 1 minute. All right. 73 votes in. Is it going to be mostly theater? But here's the thing, folks. It may be theater, but it's not going to be like theater. I don't think we're going to be able to watch. Things will be going on and behind the scenes. I just hope that it's gonna take the slow drip process like the last release we had and energize it and get things moving faster. Because if they can come out and say, we know what nationals, what we're gonna keep locked away, we know what stuff we're gonna go through, it should turn into a relatively good machine to bring the information out. But we're just gonna have to take a look and say, how many hundreds of people are they gonna put on this, Daryl? Because like they've said, there are tens of millions of files out there to go through.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, how many people are on that party committee now? Is it like 10?
We don't know. On the scientific community, right now it's not.
Gary,
it's 10, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's right.
By the sound of that timer going off, we have reached the 1 minute goal into this. We do rapid surveys here. Let's go ahead and end that poll and bring up the results, and let's go ahead and take a look and see where we wound up. All right. Will this council have meaningful impact on UAP understanding? Meaning, what are UAP, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's
so 51%
right.
is mostly theater, meaning they're going to dance around and do chants around the disclosure dots when they could be rolling out the crashed spaceship and biological materials and potentially non-human intelligence entities.
Exactly.
Well, you and Mike both said that there's no charter written for this committee yet, right? There's nothing.
A mission statement?
Yeah.
As far as what? Avi Loeb's scientific council or the governance UAP council?
Well, there's two different things. One is the Council for Science. The other one is the UAP Governance Board.
Right.
Which one is out of the White House?
The governance board is coming from ODNI.
And I think this is a mission statement. The mission of the governance board is to serve as an interagency body that can use each member's capabilities and unique authorities to cohesively address national security threats posed by UAP. The governing board will also integrate and optimize interagency processes involved in the investigation of UAP incidents and collection procedures used to analyze UAP data to ensure a more effective support for the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. Remember, they've been building equipment. They've got new platforms they're getting ready to put out there. This is not just about dealing with the legacy data, Daryl. This is something what they're working on to go ahead and do an all-of-government change to how we're dealing with UAP.
So is the governance board given classified information?
Yes.
And Avi Loeb is on both boards?
Avi Loeb is not on payroll, and he has no access to anything classified. And he's not on the governance board at all. No.
He's not. Okay.
He's
so
not.
Who's on the governance board? Is that?
We'd like to know, but they haven't released that information.
No shit. I thought Gallaudet and Gary Nolan.
No. That's for the Avi Loeb's board, not for the governance board.
So if Trump is going to get an okay if he's looking to a committee or somebody, a committee, what is this
It's going to be the governance board is who's going to look to. Right.
So I'm really wondering who's on that.
So we would like to know, but they have not released that information, and they may not release that information because they don't have to. And we're talking about intelligence community, government. This is a joint coalition of different government agencies, and they do not have to make that information public if they choose not to. And I can tell you in law enforcement, when you have local, state, and federal agencies that are working together on a joint project, they refer to that as a task force. And I can tell you that it seems like on this governance board for UAP, they are setting it up in a task force style to affect that kind of an operation, which is actually a good thing. So I'm glad they're doing this.
Yeah.
And yes, I would like more information as far as who the members are, but we're going to have to wait and see what comes out.
You know, for those in the audience who are saying Trump isn't doing shit, Mike, maybe we could go back to the Biden administration. Steve Sullivan, was it who's Sullivan's last?
Jake Sullivan,
Jake Sullivan's
National
policies that they
Council.
put in place for disclosure during the Biden administration. What did we get out of them, Mike?
Zero, nothing.
Their
Zip.
answer was?
We ain't found shit.
Exactly. So you can complain all you want, but the reality is, folks, this is the most information we've ever gotten. And now they're not just doing executive tweet. They're just spinning it up and they're blowing it out into a new interagency organization to bring out the truth.
Right.
Or is it possible, like Faint Lights, I think is the name, Faint Light Films, in the chat said that they're just doing this to basically make us all bored of the topic and not pay attention?
That's hard with 1.7 billion hits so far, Daryl, to say
Right,
the public isn't interested in their board.
I think you're probably right on that, Thomas. We could do a poll on that.
Oh,
We
yeah.
could.
No, I'm sure you're right.
Yeah, no, we can do it any time. All right, so that's that part. Let's get back to caterwauling Michael Schellenberger. Happily, Professor Avi Loeb has confirmed his advisory board has no special authority or access to confidential information. It will be important to keep an eye on OVNI, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence Process, given the history of IC disinformation efforts. Yes, there's been a lot of disinformation coming from the CIA and other parts of the intelligence community, even with the stuff they just brought out about those Russian labs that the Biden administration, put out time and time again. They did not exist. We didn't have any over there. And oh yeah, COVID. We don't know anything about this. And those vaccines, they're healthy. Get some. And wear masks, even though we know it doesn't work. So there's a lot of...
especially in your car, when you're driving down the street, roll your windows up.
Yeah.
Wear your mask. Wear your mask.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gain of function. How dare you? That's illegal. We would never do anything like that.
But
it was purely natural selection.
And Fauci, he deserves a pardon, although he didn't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm. Because you typically give innocent people pardons, don't you, Thomas?
Exactly. And if the government did screw up disclosure by giving information to third-party companies, they already want to give it back, but they've been kept from the intelligence community for giving some of the shit back. But that was all done decades ago. We'll see where it all goes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
All right, here we go. If anyone is going to form an ODNI UAP Science Advisory Board, no, it's not an ODNI UAP Science Advisory Board.
It is not.
It is an UAP Science Advisory Board that reports up to the governance board. Their highest priority should be demand transparency and disclosure, not special access to intel and information that we, the people, paid for and have a right to know under our Constitution. Well, but Mike, there's two words that takes that whole sentence and throws out of the way. Yeah, that intel and information that we the people paid for and have a right to know under our Constitution. But Mike, when it comes to national security and stuff classified as national security, we don't have right to shit.
Nope.
That's
and
because
even people with they have clearances. If they don't have the right clearances, they're not going to see shit either.
Now, remember, I say this a bunch of times for a reason, folks. Within days after the crash at Roswell happened, the National Security Act was passed by Congress and the Senate, signed into law by the President of the United States, and that transformed the United States of America into what you would consider the national security state of America. It took away fundamental rights from the citizens. It gave the government inalienable rights where they can take anything and classify it as national security and lock it all away.
Wait, there's more. With that, we also got the Air Force that year and the CIA. And wait, for over 80 years, what we have been up against as far as the government keeping secrets on this topic all seems to revolve around those agencies, the U.S. Air Force and the Central Intelligence Agency. I guess it's a coincidence that this all started at the exact same time.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Not an accident.
So Schellenberger goes on, if the intention of any UAP advisory board is to get access to government secrets that the public and Congress are not allowed to see, then this is acting in bad faith. No, they're going to get the records that are classified under national security. And I believe that is under, that's not that one I want to get to. And I encourage everyone to go ahead and read. Oh, God, where's the top of this damn thing at? Executive Order 13526, dated December 29th, 2009, regards to classified national security information. Mike, they're going through the pipes. They're going through whatever it's going to take to get the truth there. They're jumping through the hoops of where it needs to go.
And that order was from President Barack Obama. So you ain't kidding that they're going through everything to get to this. That's the last thing that this administration, I think, would really want to be connected to. But they're going there. They're doing it. They're using this. It's a good point.
Time and
They're
time
leaving
again.
no stone unturned. Yeah, they're leaving it to use to their benefit. So hopefully we get something out of all this.
Oh, I hope so too. So we do not need yet another layer of bureaucrats deciding what we, the people, can see. Then who, if this governing board isn't going to decide what's national security, what's not, to declassify it, right? Because some stuff still needs to be locked up, right?
Right.
Then who's going to do it? You need a governance board to go ahead and help get help the rubber hit the road.
Does Schmuckenberger expect the 80-year-old president to go through tens of millions of documents on his own and decide what he wants to declassify? That ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
You need an agency like this.
Yeah, we want to see the tech specs, and we want to see some not blurry pics. We want to see the high resolution stuff that we have a right to see, that there is no reason that they've classified a lot of this stuff as national security.
Right.
Hold on 1 second.
Even Avril Haines, back in the day when she took over, she said there's too much overclassification in the government.
Yep.
She also said that she was going to try to cut through a lot of it, but then we never heard a word come out of her mouth the entire time till she was gone.
Yep. They shut her down.
Yep.
The big declassification effort she was going to do under Biden didn't have support from Biden, apparently. And it didn't move forward. So let's see what Schmuckenberger has to say here. We have had more transparency in a few weeks than we've had over RO in 3 years. Yeah, but you know what? They want to speed it up. This is like in the top, Mike, last week I had heard, a week ago Monday I'd heard this was in the top 5, priorities for the executive branch. No, now
Right.
It's within the top 3, Mike.
Right. Because they're moving forward with this, and we can see it's actually happening.
Mm-hmm. So the reason for all this transparency appears to be that the President Trump demanded it. He assigned the job to his deputy chief of staff, Stephen Miller, and Miller, acting with the president's authority, was able to cut through the bureaucracy. Anything that looks like the creation of more bureaucracy is thus suspicious. We don't need more chefs in the kitchen. Just release all the damn files already. No, that's the thing. We can't get all the files, and we're never going to get all the files.
No.
Who's been clear about this? You may have a pile of, I'll blow this up a little bit more, 200 files, right?
Okay.
Let's say 85 of those, right, still have to be classified under national security.
Right.
The remaining 115 of them, they can be brought out. But who do you think is going to do this? Stephen Miller? The president ain't going to do it. Miller isn't going to do it.
No.
The DOW is not going to do it. Somebody's got to do it. They need to have a group of people who's helping getting the experts from the different areas who are dedicated towards fulfilling the government's or the president's wishes on this to make it happen.
Yeah, this is not a one-man operation.
No,
something like this.
They're going to need hundreds of analysts for this across many agencies.
Oh, absolutely.
Somebody in the chat or flashed up on the screen asked, "Who is Stephen Miller?" I'm not sure. I was about to look up his current title, but
he's
I can
the
tell
guy
you,
who would mind you if there were someone who was an Igor in the executive office.
Yeah. Well, aside from the things on the face of it, let's say, this is the guy. Yeah, this is the guy that wrote all of Trump's 2015 and 2016 speeches. He's
Right.
the guy that really kind of fired up the crowd. Before when there was rallies were a thing, a Trump rally was a thing, became a thing. It was him out there firing him up because he was you go back to 2015, this guy is like pounding the podium and this thing has happened and Trump's there to do it, blah, 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 it keeps going on and on. So he's like a very trusted inner circle guy with Trump.
I don't think he's the chief of staff. The chief
don't
of
think so
staff
either.
is this older woman who's there to control Trump like she's
Oh,
his mom.
yeah. What is Stephen Miller's current title?
Where in the hell was I? All right. And then, what the hell is this? The main proximate reason for the release of files appears to be that President Trump decided that was the right thing to do, and he would be politically popular. I have seen no evidence of, and nobody has reported credibly on, any ulterior motive by Trump. Senior Trump administration officials have indicated to the public in 2025 that they were open to releasing the UAP files, but there was no public evidence of any significant action to declassify the documents until Trump responded to the questions on Air Force One from Fox News' Peter Doocy. That's how we got here. That is really how we got here.
I feel like there was something set up before that. I'd like to think that I don't think it was
like
just
what Obama said first. It seemed like it was it was the pitch, and then Trump hit it and knocked it out.
Yeah, there was too much going on before he said that was suspect.
Oh, and other news is more suspect. Did you hear that Bibi, Benjamin Netanyahu, said he's going to be releasing the Epstein files?
They have an Israeli Epstein file?
Apparently so. They've always said that there was a Mossad connection to this. I think that was after Trump told him stop attacking Iran, and Netanyahu told him basically, "Fuck you. We're going to do whatever you want. You don't control us."
Right. Well, before you get off the governance board topic, I do have another poll in the rifle poll.
Take it. I know we've got a bunch of stuff to cover on this, but let's get to it.
Okay,
Next
so
poll
this
for
is
the
just
evening,
about
folks.
the efficacy. I would just consider this the efficacy of the board, what people think.
All right, you know that sound? That means we got a poll going, and we don't have Anna Polina Luna around here to celebrate. So on that note, hey, Google, set a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds, please.
Got it. 1 minute. Starting.
Now, all right, let's go ahead and bring it up and see where this poll's going to take us. All right, folks, here we go. Second poll of the evening. Biggest potential outcome of the UAP governance board. Minimal change to secrecy, better data sharing and transparency, and incremental public reports only. Meaning that the minimal change to secrecy, meaning the secrecy laws and everything we have are going to stay in place, Daryl? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, well, minimal change to secrecy of what they're looking at. So declassifying would be a better way to say it. So minimal files declassified, or is there only incremental, like just the stuff we've been seeing, just more of it?
Yeah, or just better data sharing. If it said minimal change to secrecy, well, that means we're going to be able to get a lot of information out there with our existing laws. They're putting it through the national, what do you call it? What was that document again I had? The National Security blah blah Act. I lost it. No,
That's okay. Got me a drink.
There we go. National Security. All right, coming into this with just 14 seconds left, it looks like 44% of our audience is going for minimal change to secrecy, meaning there's a lot of stuff they're going to be able to say, here's a lot of stuff that you can get, and that stuff that remains secret goes away. All right, with that sound, that means our next poll is done with 83 votes in. Looks like minimal change to secrecy. Won on that one, Daryl.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of split, I guess, really. It's unfortunate. I mean, it'd be nice to know, like, who's on the board so you get excited about it,
It would be, but they haven't released that information yet. We'll see.
I mean, who is he talking to? Because that's probably who's on that board.
Maybe, but this
Rush?
then No, I don't think Russia's going to be on that board.
Hmm.
No, that would be a slam dunk if he was, but no, it isn't. And ODNI is the one that's running this board and setting it up. So I think it's going to be going through ODNI and who they deal with, and probably the new director of ODNI that Trump is putting in there.
Right. Which Trump has already told him clean house. Not just not in the ODNI, but across the IC.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
What else is he saying here? More comments from Schellenberger. Watch what people do. Are they demanding government transparency and disclosure, or are they demanding special access privileges and power? This goes for everyone, including believers, skeptics, and agnostics. Sweaty Nerd, your hand is up.
Yeah, what about some of the members on the Congress that's been
You got really quiet again. You got really quiet again for a second there. We couldn't hear you.
No, I was saying, what about Tim Burchett?
Tim Burchett, yeah?
Yeah.
Your mic just completely cut out again.
Yeah, my bad. Or maybe some of the members on the panel, Congress that could be part of the.
That group? No, everyone who's on that board, the governance board, is from the executive branch. Their department or agency leads, we're not sure, but we're going to get them from the ODNI, the Director of National Intelligence. We're going to get them from the Department of War. We know we're going to get them from the FBI, and potentially there may be some involvement with ARO in there as well.
Okay. All right.
Awesome. Thank you. Edwin, your hand is up.
So disclosure is a bipartisan issue.
It's always been.
Yeah, I am not absolutely. I got to tell you, I am not a Trump supporter.
Of course, you're from Washington.
I disagree with him on many things, but this is why it's nonpartisan. I support him 100% with what he's doing with UAP. So that just goes to tell you that I never thought I'd be saying that. But yes, he is doing a good job with this that we've never had before. Secondly, we do have to remember that Avi Loeb is going to get access to these files before the public does.
We don't know that, though. He may or may not, but it also sounds like they want to deal with the scientific board to establish procedures, and this is not just for the disclosure, but it's also to establish new scientific procedures and precedent for the federal government as a whole.
We'll have to wait and see. This is a good development. And I'm thinking that the next best thing to come would be that executive order by Trump. And
well, there's a bunch of stuff we can call for the executive order, but hey, even without the executive order, at this point, we're already getting the elements of the UAP Disclosure Act, which is this board to go out there to get the information together and figure out ways to declassify it. So it's a good move.
I think it'll speed it up because look at all the stuff that the White House has to deal with right now. I mean, in the world economy, everything. Look at all the issues that they have to deal with. They need a governance panel like this to speed things up so that Trump can focus on the things in the world that other things that need to be done also. I mean, it speeds it up in my opinion.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Absolutely. Michael, your hand is up.
Yeah, what's the difference between the governance board and ARO? And is the governance board going to be duplicating any of the work that ARO is doing?
They're going to be working with ARO.
Above ARO. It's above ARO.
So why even have ARO?
I don't know. I'm reading what the mission statement or the mission is. It says it's above ARO and serves to help ARO. They need a lot of help.
I hope they change out their leadership because that's the best way to help ARO.
Right. Again.
Thanks for clarifying that, Daryl.
Yeah, I just happen to be reading it. It's kind of interesting that you asked the question.
Abe, your hand is up.
Yeah, Tom. I was just wanted to say I agree with you and Edwin. I really hope that they add some more because I think you said earlier that there was like 10 names that were added to the council or whatever.
Right.
I just hope that some of them are outside of the science thing, and there's like some police officers, firefighters,
the
engineers,
science one is
a
just for
doctor.
science. They're going to be having other councils that are going to come together to deal with different portions of this.
I can kind of, on the governance board, it says it's made up of military service branches, law enforcement, like FBI, intelligence.
That's putting my mind at ease. A couple of days ago when we first heard about this, that's putting my mind at ease. A couple of days ago when me and Tom were talking about this live, that's not the information that we had available. That's information that I feel like is pertinent and it should be on like 60 Minutes or some shit.
Yeah, we don't even know the people. And
that's because there was no governance board the last time you spoke about this. We were talking about Avi Loeb. And at that time, that was his science council was the only thing that was out publicly. So now we have the governance board.
Mike, I'm cheering for what's happening now. This is working. I think this is the right direction. And then we got a governance board. We got Avi Loeb's thing, and we can compare notes. And this is the way shit needs to work. And this is professional, and this is what we need to do. So thank you. Let's keep it moving. If you let's get more help. Get the Japanese involved.
Well, that's one of the pillars I can bring up, and one of the things they want to have with the new federal lab that Lou Elizondo talked about back in 2021, and that is going to have a lot of, let's just bring this one up. This is one of the slides from Lou Elizondo had back in 2021, around October 9th to be exact, where they were talking about the creation of a federal lab and national laboratory, where it's going to be international community involving the UN, the ESA, the IEA. It's going to be interagency with the Department of Energy, NOAA, and NASA. It's going to involve the defense community. Let me just hide myself here. The defense, let me hide the chat as well. All right. It's going to involve the defense community, services, Futures Command, DevCom. It's going to involve the intelligence community coming from the NRO, NGA, CIA, the private sector, of course, technology community, including Silicon Valley, Google and aerospace companies, the scientific community, talking about the National Science Foundation, the AMA, International Science Council, and, of course, the academic community with universities, societies, and scholarships, if you want to call it a federal lab, to deal with the understanding and the learning and knowledge that can be achieved by, if you want to call the proper way to look at disclosure. There's a bunch of different umbrellas under this tree. We hope we don't get struck by lightning. Now, let's see. Thomas E-Dub says in his super chat, where's that at? Thomas, I think a little birdie spoke with you about this, the new Majestic 34. I don't think this is the Majestic 34. That's a different console that's been around for a while. We heard about the Majestic 12, and I thought it was like 27 or something.
24, something like that.
Now
27.
It's 34, whatever it is. Yeah, it's a possibility. I guess time is going to have to tell to see if that's it. But I think this board, what we're getting here, is a bit different than the people who are actually managing the
legacy programs.
The legacy program, exactly. Yep.
This is a group that's supposed to expose the gatekeepers, not be a part of them.
Bingo.
Ideally.
All right, let's get back to Schellenberger here. There are several things we need to know with certainly. First, the Trump administration is being more transparent about UAPs than any other administration in history. True. Second, there is still far, far more secrecy than transparency. Yes, because everything is still classified under national security. And unless you change the classifications on all these documents and you get people to renew it and separate it in yes, this shit should come out, this shit should not come out, this is the other stuff we need to talk about and figure out, when we can bring it out, or maybe we should bring it out now. That's true. Third, there are people within the government that are trying to get more transparency and people trying to maintain secrecy. Yes, the maintain secrecy people, those are the people that are going to have to be wary that if they do go ahead and continue their, if you want to call it, being a gatekeeper on this stuff, and if they're not playing around, the new head of the ODNI, Mike, is not going to, hesitate on removing those people from the government.
Yeah, you're right. That's going to be his job. So, yeah, if he's good at what he does, and from what I hear, where he's coming from, he is good at what he does.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll do that. This will be a step in the right direction.
So our remarkable Constitution, Congress, and the American people are on the side of transparency. Not always. Congress locks so much stuff up against, especially their dirty deeds. They are not on the side of transparency. They are on the side of special interest, making money, and doing backroom deals.
Yes, and we've exposed that over the years, you and I, repeatedly.
There's been 3 years of the UAP Disclosure Act that it's failed because of Congress not wanting to give us the transparency we deserve. Here we go. Government bureaucrats and other self-important people who believe they should decide what information we have access to are taking a fundamentally undemocratic and un-American position. Yes, it's those unelected bureaucrats, Mike. Every single one of them. If any, different reporters, different politicians know who these people are, start calling them out by name, right?
Yeah. Like when they were complaining that there were staffers in some congressman's office that were blocking disclosure. Name them. Call them out. But they never did that.
No, they didn't. Well, someone did call out Mitch McConnell's chief of staff.
Right.
But then again, we're talking weekend at Diane's.
Yes.
Or Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah. Yeah, he's stroked out. Diane Feinstein.
Oh, thank you for clarifying that.
No problem.
You have to watch the
another
show
one
regularly to pick up on our little jokes here, but yeah.
Yeah. That was another one where they were wheeling the body in and out of Congress.
Yeah. Here's the next one. My concern about this stems not only from reporting on UAP, but also reporting on censorship. Censorship always begins with a group of people who think they are experts and thus entitled to decide what we, the people, are allowed to see. But when you're dealing with national security information, you just can't say, okay, let's declassify everything.
No.
It's not
they
an
wouldn't
option.
do that.
I wish it was an option. But we have to be somewhat realistic here, right?
Yes, we do. Because like it or not, we need national security. Look at what's going on in Iran.
Mike, if hopes and dreams were peaches and creams, I'd be like fucking 1,000 pounds now.
Right. But if you look at our foreign adversaries all around the world, we need to have a degree of national security to survive, just like they do. So it's a necessary evil.
Nick Poe, get over it. Please, we're not here to go ahead and hear you rail about how you're a fucking liberal Democrat and you love Kamala and everything else and you don't like Trump. The audience doesn't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If you continue to post those messages, I'm going to start removing them now. And if it continues, I'll kick you out. I'll ban you again for 5 minutes and put you in the corner. Please behave and be an active, proactive participant. Oh, he hates Kamala too.
Yeah,
right.
We're apolitical. This is bipartisan, the disclosure movement. That's it.
The same attitudes prevails among bureaucrats. We talked about that. President Trump has really taken a populist attitude towards UAP. Any whiff of experts trying to control what the public is allowed to see on UAP is alarming. The government's censorship of UAPs has gone for far too long. Damn it. Far too long. There we go. Where'd it go? Far too long. Far too long. The UAP experts should be demanding transparency, not claiming some special authority to decide what the public is allowed to see. But somebody has to.
Right.
In terms, and by the way, folks, from the time I say something here till the time you hear it is about 2 seconds.
There's a delay. Right.
Yeah, at the most. Well, granted, your messages aren't popping up right away. There's a little delay because other people are talking. I just want to let you know. So in terms of analyzing videos, images, and documents scientifically, that can be done by anyone after the videos are released. We want more than videos, Mike.
Yes.
We want the scientific information.
The analysis. The agencies involved, the material collected, the work that was done.
Plus all the different signals intelligence that goes along with it, along with the high quality imagery that we know that they have. Stop giving us the shit Give us the real deal, and we'll move on. We'll be happy about it. Science is a process involving many people and is not owned or monopolized by any group of people. Any suggestion otherwise is unscientific. Oh, he goes on again. Many documents, including this one, have not yet been released in unredacted form. They must be released, as there is simply no way at this point for any government bureaucrat to claim that revealing UAP task force potential explanations would undermine national security. We have had dozens of current and former senior government military IC leaders speculate as to the explanations. There's no constitutional justification for this level of secrecy. Again, National Security Act, you can't get away from it. This is the national security state of America. And yes, this is the UAPTF has collected blank reports dated from the last years described at it. And we have a lot of stuff that's all shut down because we're not sure how it deals into the world of national security. Unfortunately, it's a problem, Mike.
I mean, there's two ways to look at this. I mean, after the Second World War, when we developed the atomic bomb, do you really expect the government to make that public knowledge and information? Never. That would never happen. For good reason, it would never happen. And this falls into the same category to a degree.
Yep.
Like you said, we don't really care about the technology. We want to know why they're here and that we're not alone. That's what the disclosure movement is to find out.
What are they doing here? What? Okay, there's a reason. Yeah, we're here because our planet is dying. What are you doing here? Oh, we're going ahead and changing the biology of the life inhabitants on this, mixing our day into it, right? Our DNA into it to go ahead and create a hybrid life form that can extend our civilization into your world. That's what they're doing here.
Okay. But we need to have disclosure to find that out.
Yeah, we do. That's a legitimate concern, Mike.
It is.
Oh.
And like Lewis said repeatedly, even if something like that would be true, we have a right to know, and the public can handle it. I know we certainly can.
Absolutely.
Our audience can.
All right. I'll do it. Jesus, you write a lot. Avi Loeb just dropped an article.
Oh, no.
More details on the UAP Science Advisory Council that we've been rallying on.
Okay.
Get to it.
Go ahead. Spill it, Avi.
All right. Oh, look, oh my God, look what he's got here, Mike. He's got the picture of the fucking balloon from China.
Motherfucker. Of course he does.
That's Mother Smucker.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
We're an adult program. Not for kids.
Every time he talks about a balloon, we have to play 99 Left Balloons. All right.
Okay.
Please describe the council's ultimate aim and overarching responsibility. In support of President Trump's directive on UAP transparency, I was asked by the White House, Pentagon's the RO, the DNI, and the FBI, and the intelligence community as a whole to assemble a UAP Science Advisory Council. As of now, the council includes the following members along with their expertise. Yes, we've gone over them before. Let's move on besides the people. This constitutes an amazing A-team with exceptional scientists. The goal of the council is to advise the U.S. government on how to resolve the nature of UAP. So far, there have been 3 batches of UAP files released on May 8th, May 22nd, and June 12th. The latest UAP file release includes a new report, accessible date here, dated June 5th, 2026, signed by John Kozlowski, RO's director. The report mentions that during the 2 days of October 2023, law enforcement officials noticed anomalous phenomena, including an orange mother orb launching smaller orbs. About 40% of the reported phenomena lack a reasonable explanation remain unresolved. The duty of scientists like myself is to serve the U.S. government by interpreting existing data or recommending how to get new data that would resolve the nature of UAPs. This is a detective story that can be resolved with better data. All the data shared with the council will be unclassified. But remember, his equipment is so good, Mike, that they haven't been able to go ahead and observe one UAP with it. Yet the stuff we see from the Nightcrawler crew on the East Coast and the Jersey Shore, we're seeing equipment all across the world, for that matter, being able to report it. But his equipment, for some reason, can't find shit. Gee, I wonder why, because they're not looking the way they should. The council will report to a higher level UAP governance board that aims to provide guidance, recommendations, and coordination at the interagency level, bringing together military, law enforcement, and the intelligence community and other civilian agencies. The mission of the UAP governing board is to serve as an interagency body that can use each member's capabilities and unique authorities to cohesively address the national security threats posed by UAP, which is what Elizondo has said many, 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 many times. And that's why he quit the military in 2017 and went public. The governing board will also interrogate and optimize interagency process involved in the investigation of UAP incidents and collection procedures used to analyze UAP data to ensure more effective support to ARO. I guess they still want to keep ARO, but they were going to redo the processes, techniques, and methods that everybody uses, Mike, to go ahead and record and figure out the data while it's still going on.
Right. But like you said, we would need a new director in Arrow to see if he was going to move forward on this.
Not a new director. We would need a new leader. The executive leadership above the director in Arrow is the problem. The director operates at the whim of his vice presidents or whoever's above him. He follows and enacts the policy and direction that he's given from above, right? So if the people above don't change the direction and what was going on with Sean Kirkpatrick, we're going to get the same story just coming from a different mouth.
Yeah, you're talking about the advisory group that's over Arrow that gives them their policy.
Advisory group or just leadership in the Pentagon. They don't they don't act autonomously. They follow the directions and what they're given. They don't set policy, they enact it.
Right. We saw when Kirkpatrick was going to testify the short leash that Susan Goff had around his neck. So, yeah, there are people above Arrow that are giving them their marching orders. You're absolutely right.
That is true. The UAP governing board, which will get advice from the Science Council, as well as other committees, will assist in the timely coordination of declassification of UAP-related information in accordance with Executive Order 13.526, the National Classified National Security Information. I am honored to serve my country and help ARO resolve the mystery, UAP mystery. It's not a mystery. They know exactly what it is. They've been tracking this for 80 years, Mike, to say, we don't know what it is. Of course they know what the fuck it is. They know where it's coming from. They know where it's going to. They know what it's doing, but they act like they don't know because if we don't know what they know, they're going to say they don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Next question 2. What work and support will the council bring to the Defense Department and U.S. military? Please speak to the national security angle here and what the council will offer in that capacity. The down-to-earth interpretation of UAP is that we are dealing with non-human made technology. The down-to-earth interpretation of UAP is that we are dealing with human-made technologies.
Prosaic. There we go again.
In the case of the defense system of the U.S. against espionage on strategic assets is being compromised. We know about the Chinese spy balloon. Yeah, that was shot down in 2023 when finding an ant on the kitchen cabinet. We get alarmed. This is the speech he just gave yesterday.
Yep.
If the orbs and ARL's report represent unknown technologies employed by adversarial nations, then they represent a serious breach of national security. But even as Marco Rubio has said in the past, he hopes it is aliens because if that would be the case, the United States is screwed. Resolving their nature is a high priority for the U.S. government, requiring the development of a better sensors and AI algorithms to collect and interpret new data. The team was selected to fulfill the task of the council in solving the mysteries of UAP through the scientific method. Since UAPs are physical objects that interact with humans, the council includes members with an expertise in physical sciences, as well as psychology and biology. All members have had an intense interest in the scientific study of UAP for many years, except for Shermer, who is just a debunker, right?
Right.
In my case, over the past 5 years, I led the Galileo Project at Harvard University in search of extraterrestrial technology artifacts near Earth. By now, our research team operates 3 observatories which haven't found shit to collect and analyze data on millions of objects in an attempt to search for outliers outside the performance envelope of human technologies. This search is different from traditional SETI, which needs to be shut down because it's a fucking psyop, which has been searching for extraterrestrial radio signals for the past 66 years. Think of all that money they've wasted. The disparity between the these search methods is akin to the difference between searching our mailbox for packages compared to waiting for a phone call. How often is the UAP Science Advisory Council meeting? And what do you need from the administration to be successful near term? The frequency of the council meetings is yet to be decided. We will make out the best data we are given. Is there anything else worth noting you would like to add? My mouth feels dirty saying this, Mike.
It's really hard repeating the shit that comes out of his mouth.
Oh, I know. The aftertaste just is horrible.
Yep. I'm with you.
Yeah. Uh-oh. We got okay. Be nice. All right. Avi Bet Shermer. $1,000 ET Tech revealed by 2030. Interesting. Thank you very much. And the next one. Jake Barber flies helis in and out of Bezos Figure 2 Ranch daily. Even has his own helipad now to the west of it. Public data if you know how to use radar. Interesting. I guess he's saying where Jake Barber went. Eggman. Apparently all the information he promised, Mike, never showed up, did it?
No, it didn't. None of it.
I have an open mind to it. If they show us the data, let's see where it takes us. So back to Avi. My past leadership positions included as a service, or no, there we go. Service as director of Harvard's Institute for Theory and Computation, founding director of Harvard's Black Hole Initiative, chair of the Harvard Astronomy Department, chair of the Board of Physics and Astronomy of the National Academies, and member of the President's Council Advisors on Science and Technology in the White House. My leadership style promotes transparency and trust. No. Doesn't his leadership style usually take the discoveries that other people who may be on his team or other teams and take it as his own?
Oh, all the fucking time he's done that and been accused of it. That's why they hate him in the academic
this
community.
is why I was the longest serving chair for 3 terms in the history of Harvard's astronomy department. Yeah, because you have tenure and you're not leaving. The best is yet to come. Stay tuned for future updates. And for people who was really into Avi Loeb, Mike, he's going to be having a live stream on
Friday.
No, the 18th.
Okay.
I believe it's that'll be Thursday the 18th at I think 5 p.m. Eastern.
On his channel.
On his channel on YouTube, yes. So, Avi. All right. McCaslin.
I'd like to congratulate Daryl for being promoted from assistant producer to poll manager. Does that mean Daryl is on the poll?
Daryl's never been an assistant producer. Daryl has always been Daryl, and Daryl has wanted to be able to help out with the polls for a while. However, it just took a little bit of time to finally ask Rock, how do we fix this? And it worked, right, Daryl?
It certainly did.
The Daryl was promoted. Does that mean Daryl is on the poll now?
No.
That doesn't mean mean that.
No.
Although we don't know because his camera's off again.
It's true. I could have a poll that I'm sliming all over right now, but I'm not.
There we go. All right. Well, speaking of Jake Barber, we got a short interview with him, and who was he with here? Let's find out. Jesse Michaels.
Oh, God. He's really scraping the bottom of the fucking barrel.
Well, this guy was shown a glowing crystal orb recovered from the UFO Legacy program, according to whistleblower Jordan Jozak. When he made eye contact with it, Mike, it looked back.
Okay.
And winked.
Well, he is gay, and he is left-handed, and he is one of those viewers. So, and he likes to take care of his face. It's clear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let's watch this little clip here, and this will give me a chance to refill national security. It's a national security issue.
I also understand it's a solar event acting up lately, too.
But the psychologist is like, hi, Jordan. Like, hey, we have something really special for you today. You don't have to do anything. We just want you to tell us what you think of something, right? We're going to show it to you. Again, you don't have to do anything. Just tell me what you think about it, right? And I'm like already traumatized, nervous. What's happening? Okay, this again. So I think it was the female. She pulls the blanket, or like the Faraday shielding off from the coffee table. And sitting at the center of the coffee table on a pedestal, right, like a 3-pronged pedestal, is what I would describe as think of a wizard's orb. Like, quite seriously, little bit smaller than a basketball, has a defined shell, clear looking like wizard's ball, right? Now, here's what's unique about this, okay? It has a defined shell. It's a literal crystal orb. But the inside of this orb, for lack of a better word, was alive. So it had a structure that, if you could imagine almost like, if you were to imagine Jupiter in your mind, and Jupiter's like swirling atmosphere, imagine that inside the sphere, but highly white, highly crystallized, highly like almost you're looking into a VVS diamond. It's fractalized, it's swirling, and it's emitting its own light source, right? So there's this, it's fixed, defined shell, crystal orb, crystal sphere. There's this inside structure that I can only really attribute to it is alive. It is alive.
How big is it?
A little bit smaller than a basketball. A little bit smaller than a basketball. So like, maybe take a quarter off of your globe on that side.
And what color?
Think like white diamond.
Okay.
The color was really hard on this because it was almost like, think of your studio lights almost, actually. It was like this fractalized light inside of it and outside of it. There wasn't really like a color. It was just this white, pure light. And it's emitting light out of it, right? What's interesting, the first thing that I notice is the psychologist goes like, hey, we want you don't have to do anything, just tell me what you think about it. And I look at it, right? So I actually take my 2 eyes and I lock eye contact with this thing. And as I locked eye contact with it, the inside structure that I described, right, that was like fractalized, like Jupiter's atmosphere kind of swirling, it adapts and it like changes. And it's almost as if this object, as I'm looking at it, is now looking back at me.
Ooh, did it wink? I don't know. Mike, do you think it winked at him? Daryl?
Maybe he was hoping it would anally probe him.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Nice.
Something really
All right. We talked Avi Loeb taken care of. We got that one done. Michael Schellenberger a bunch. Well, some more news here going on. This one's coming from GB News. And we got someone here. They're actually talking about UFOs in the UK, Mike, which usually doesn't happen. The only
Never
aliens
happens.
they're usually talking about, they're not allowed to.
Right.
Here we go.
So let's listen to Great Britain news.
This book, Not for Disclosure, really is imparting a lot of the information I've had from insiders. And this is a very real phenomenon. And
where are they coming from?
Well, that's the second reason they can't really disclose, because although they've been researching this for a very long time, I think that the Americans really don't know, nor do the Chinese. It's a multi-source phenomenon.
Of course we know where it's coming from. We know where they're going to, and we know where they're going back to. Remember, folks, our intelligence platforms can track an object the size of a basketball from sea level out to beyond the orbit of the moon. Right?
Yeah.
That's what they say.
But let's continue to hear him put his foot in his mouth.
Part of it is extraterrestrial. Part of it they really do not know. And Congress is talking about an interdimensional origin. They're talking about some kind possibly of universal collective consciousness, a form of intelligence we don't understand. But it would be very disturbing.
We are the Borg.
I think to say this is a real phenomenon and we don't know what it is.
Jonathan, it seems hard to me to understand how in a world of mass communications...
Oh, look, he's got a book.
Oh, of course he does.
But it would be very disturbing, I think, to say this is a real phenomenon and we don't know what it is.
Jonathan, it seems hard to me to understand how in a world of mass communications with social media, people making all sorts of revelations all the time, some true, some false. I mean, just look at the intelligence, the knowledge that we've had about the war in Iran, you know, how we were able to see in real time the build-up of men and material in the Middle East. It seems astonishing to me that if these claims are true, that they have not been revealed or leaked on social media in any way.
Well, they are true, and you'll find that in the last 2 years, since a man called David Grush, an intelligence officer, gave open sworn evidence to Congress about this, a number of other intelligence officers and very senior military figures have come forward to say exactly what I'm saying. And Marco Rubio has said, look, either these guys are crazy, or we've got some people here that have got, we're showing that Congress has been misled.
Everybody will be asking the
what
same.
Marco Rubio said was, if what we're seeing and what I've been shown is from Russia or China and not from the UFOs, we are screwed. And I would rather hope that what we're dealing with is coming from the aliens and not from the Russians.
Right, because if it's a foreign adversary with this kind of technology, we're fucked.
Yes.
So he's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Same question. These wreckage of craft.
She has no interest in the conversation. She's just scrolling through her personal media and then piping up against it. So wonderful.
Yep.
That found on Earth.
Yes.
Who was in it?
So there are some biologics have been found in the craft
of what we would, what I was when I was going would call Martians.
Well, you can call them.
Of what we would, what I was when I was going would call Martians.
What planet is this guy from? I mean, it sounds like he's back in 1954. Turn back the clocks in 1950. I mean, it's the United Kingdom. They should be more intelligent, right?
They should be, but that's not always the case. And for all we know, she's looking at alien porn videos on that laptop.
Well, you can call them alien life forms, if you like.
Yeah.
Dr. Eric Davis, a very senior physicist, has given evidence to Congress which accords with the literature that there's about 5 species that are well known. Paul
Remember,
Hellyer,
folks, it's not literature, it's literature.
who was the former Defense Minister of Canada, told me that he knew of 40 more.
Wow.
So there are very large numbers. And this is a subject, the lid amazingly has been kept on it, but it's about to blow off, and it's certainly blown off in my book.
Cleverer than us?
Some of them are. They must be, because the technology obviously is way in advance of ours. But they seem to show let's say a disinterest. But the real concern is, what's the agenda? If they wanted to be hostile, they could have been by now.
You don't believe any of this, Miriam, do you? You're a skeptic.
I am a
Come
skeptic.
on, be skeptical.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical. I don't believe there's any other life out there. I think the conditions on Earth are so unique for biological life. It's difficult to understand them.
But we don't know what the conditions are like in the rest of the universe.
We don't. And I think, just taking your point, I mean...
So hold on a second. Her reason not to believe again is...
Earth are so unique. I don't believe there's any other life out there. I think the conditions...
Hold on.
I am a skeptic.
Come on, be skeptical.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical. I don't believe there's any other life out there.
Okay. I don't believe there's any other life out there.
I believe she's a talking horse.
Yeah, she's got the teeth. She's got the AOC choppers, doesn't she?
Wilbur.
I think the conditions on Earth are so unique for biological life. It's difficult to understand them.
But we don't know what the conditions are like in the rest of the universe.
We don't. And I think, just taking your
You
point...
see that little slide eye there? Hold on.
Like in the rest of the universe.
Life. It's difficult to understand them.
But we don't know what the conditions are like in the rest of the universe.
She cannot wait to get back home under her rock.
Yeah.
We don't. And I think, just taking your point, I mean, the conditions here are extraordinary. Just look at tropical fish, the hundreds, thousands of varieties. Is that natural order, or is this something that's actually been arranged here by an intelligence?
Or could it be to do with the uniqueness of carbon and oxygen bonding, which gives rise to restoration? Yes, sorry, I'm afraid.
Okay, so the option for all this life and all the different stuff we can't explain all comes because we have carbon and oxygen and they mix.
Which Grok just gave her some clever answer.
Right.
That's what she was
I'm
doing.
afraid my knowledge of chemistry seems to preclude the existence of other life, but who knows?
My knowledge of chemistry seems to preclude the evidence of extraterrestrial life anywhere in the universe.
Yeah, because your chemistry exists
Google,
only
how many
in
galaxies
7th grade.
are in the universe? I can tell you that.
Galaxy. Wikipedia. The observable universe.
2 trillion galaxies.
That's just what you can
And
see.
there's no life anywhere outside of Earth. She's got to be Catholic.
In England?
No, probably not, but close enough.
Yeah, Church of England.
Do you think we will ever see one of these anomalous in our lifetime?
Well, many people have seen them. Many people have seen these craft. Many people have had claim to have had contact with aliens. There's 2 cases which are very well established by the intelligence services.
Is that the one where they gave out the pancakes? Because I really want some of those pancakes, Daryl.
And which have been recently spoken about. One in Russia, one at Holloman Air Force Base, where, again, President Bush Sr. was briefed about that.
Hey, Elisa brought up Holloman. Is he the case in Russia? Is he talking about when they tried to shoot down a UFO when it came down and crashed, and then 3 aliens came out, and then they turned all the different people and equipment into stone, and they all merged into one big thing and shot up into the air? That's about the only Russian thing I've heard about before. You've heard of that before?
Yeah, he's not being specific, so who knows what the hell he's talking about.
Oh, I know. So we got that taken care of. All right, Jeremy Corbell, this is your call. It's time to deliver or lose all credibility. Remember, Jeremy said, if we don't get the biologics and we don't get the good quality videos in this next release, I'm going to go ahead and release all of these files.
Right.
So, Jeremy, what say you? Can we get those files, please? Oh.
When is his deadline?
Last Friday when we got the next dump.
Oh,
I know. We got to call him to count.
you got to put a squirrel. You got to put a text balloon on the side of his face that says squirrel.
Yeah. Here we go. You know, Mike, we actually talked about this in the past where they talked about that they were trying to bring down UFOs, right? To harvest the technology from them. We didn't have the ability to reverse engineer that technology, but we were able to kind of strap it in and hook it in to our existing systems to give us like this hybrid monstrosity of human tech that has some, jumpered alien tech behind it.
Right.
With that in
Jury
mind,
rigging.
let's see what Jeremy says here, along with, I think he's with Jesse Michaels again.
Oh, great.
Man, Peter Thiel's got a big funding thing going on. Wow.
There is evidence that we, meaning the United States, have been able to put a non-human power source into a constructed body of other craft. The
Now
problem
remember when we had what was it down in Texas? The one Cash Landrum. We've had an incident where they've had a crashed UAP, like a triangle on top of a triangle, kind of a craft that they had, and they wired in a dirty nuclear engine, our stuff. It was surrounded like by 20 Chinooks or something going through Texas from one spot to the next, and kind of went off kilter, and 2 women and a kid got exposed to it. The 2 ladies died from severe radiation exposure. The kid lived. But we've done this before. It's been the opposite. We've taken our technology, tried to, jump right into the thing to make it work, and now he's talking about the opposite.
is it can't handle it. It's like putting a Ferrari engine in a Pinto, and then you try to drive that fast on those wheels, you're dead, right? So that.
No, I've seen them put really huge engines into a Fiero, and they actually hold it pretty well.
It's where I'm at this.
You've seen it before, haven't
It's
you,
a
Daryl?
mid-engine car, so yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Point, the evidence has directed me to that we've made some exploitive derivative technologies based on it, but the skin of the craft.
But non-human power source, the ability to
Why did you
make
cut him off? Let him talk about the skin of the craft.
Work at all. Well, even if you can't retrofit it onto some, work. But that's what it sounds like.
Well,
you're saying
does. So I'm thinking that it just does work.
Okay.
And then you're trying to harness that and not have the wheels break off. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it's like, you can
slap it on there and
slap it on there. Yeah, exactly. Like, so that's to the best of my knowledge, without getting too specific and in the weeds for your audience. That's
make
to
sure
the,
you bring
to
with
the
your
best
Avi
of my
Lube.
knowledge.
Sure.
And then the 3 things I said, is that what you wanted to know next?
Yeah.
Okay. So I said that I was directly told by a lead of the ODNI's DIG, the Director's Initiative, that Dylan Borland drew 4 drawings, I think it was, which was a lie.
Why does he continue to try and get Dylan Borland killed? Yes, he was told stuff what Dylan Borland drew in a skiff, but why does he have to name Dylan? Granted, you know what? I'll say it again. You need a full investigation into the dig. Who was involved in that particular skiff? They need to find that person and frickin' throw him under the bus. 100%. I love transparency in something, but when you're putting out names and information that is, actively hurting someone who wants to help, don't hurt them.
He did draw 3 for the ICIG because it was filmed. So why the lie? We'll talk about that. But I think it was 4 drawings is what they said. So 1 was the craft, and everybody knows that. That's just he saw it at a base, doesn't know anything. But the ODNI told me that he had told them about Project Rubik's Cube. Now, if that is a classified UAP program, then nobody should be telling me that.
Yeah. All right. I have to go ahead and just bring this up. I would say, I don't think Jeremy's a grifter. I would say Stephen Greer is a grifter. Jeremy doesn't charge outrageous amounts of cash to go ahead and get access to what's going on. He has drops of media appearances. Some of it, praises leaks, but others call him, and, they call it the hype on verified material, but, yeah, not a grifter. All right, where are we going on to next? We got more of those. All right, this is from last night. The interview we were playing with Avi Loeb and What was he with again, Mike?
Avi Loeb. Oh, and Brian Keating.
Dr. Brian Keating.
Professor
This is where
Brian
he
Keating,
actually
yes.
takes and throws Beatrice Villaro's transient and throws him out and saying it was just cosmic rays and satellites. But wasn't that at a time we didn't have that many satellites up there, Mike?
Yes. Well, at the time that she has these transient pictures, there was nothing we had up in space.
Yeah.
100 years ago.
So let's
Nothing.
hear how Avi Loeb deals with this. Here we go.
You wrote recently about the Palomar transient, that some of them, most of them perhaps could be cosmic ray hits. I mean, 60,000 impacts on a plate that are all aligned, and they have three-dimensional trajectories, right? Now, Beatriz Villarroel, who, again, I'm having on in a couple of days this week, and I'd like to understand what, she's saying that it's highly unlikely, according to the Busco and other analyses. So they say that it's not likely at all. So where do you come down now? Do you find her or this other reanalysis?
The reason I brought
really quick. It was just proved by a NASA scientist looking at other plates from another part of the country, from over in Germany, that were taken at the same time, where they had issues with the telescope and stuff, and everything that they found from Beatrice aligned. So let's see how Avi talks about this and throws a fellow scientist under the bus without any real proof.
brought this up is first because of the Apollo astronaut images that showed these blue lights, but they appeared also outside of the lens.
So he's talking about cosmic rays. How often do we have cosmic rays coming down to the surface of the Earth where they're screwing with our survey of the sky? Usually never.
They don't.
They don't.
Of the camera, so it was clear that these were triggered by something that has nothing to do with objects in the sky. Now, with respect to the photographic plates, I was intrigued by the fact that there was a paper, analyzing the Palomar plates and stating that there is an anti-correlation between the UFOs, these transients that appear only in one plate but not in other plates. There is an anti-correlation between their appearance rate and the geomagnetic storm activity on Earth. So when the sun emits a coronal plume of high temperature gas and it impacts the Earth, that triggers a geomagnetic storm, then the number of transients went down. So it was anti-correlated. So then they said, well, maybe the UFOs somehow avoid geomagnetic storms. I just Googled it, I checked, and it turns out that cosmic rays have exactly this anti-correlation because plumes of plasma that carry magnetic fields, they push away the cosmic rays from the Earth. And so that there are fewer cosmic ray hits. So I'm saying, look, you identify an anti-correlation. This is a natural consequence for cosmic rays. We know that. We also know that cosmic...
No, we don't know it. We don't have any proof that anything that shows that cosmic rays were picked up in any of the plates. Now, don't forget, Mike, who was it again that was involved coming from the government who actually, when they got to Harvard or whatever it was, they destroyed all of the plates within that time frame?
That cocksucker, Donald Menzel, who was a CIA operative. He was put in charge of Harvard's astronomy lab. And that motherfucker had all of the students taking the glass plates from 100 years ago and smashing them in the parking lot. So, yeah, what he did was criminal. And let me get into the fact that the research that Beatrice did, she established that these transient objects that were picking up sunlight, number one, they are not naturally made objects. She established that, meaning it's not a meteor, it's not a comet, it's not ice. It's a metallic, these are metallic objects. Number two, she has proof in her study that these objects, when lit up by the sun, and they are between the Earth and the moon. The moon is 250,000 miles away from the Earth. These objects operate around 35 to 50,000 miles away from the Earth. But they fall between the moon and the Earth in the Earth's shadow, which casts a shadow from the sun's light. And when these objects were in the Earth's shadow, they were pitch black. cosmic rays would not go pitch black in the Earth's shadow. Avi doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Not at all.
Well, no, he just Googled it. So it must be
he
true.
Googled it. Well, of course. He got his answers from the internet.
I'm a Harvard professor. I'm a Harvard professor, and I just Googled this, so I know it's right.
Yeah, I just got my answers from the internet, so you know it's accurate. Schmuck. So that's why we're not fans of Avi Loeb. I'm certainly not, for this reason. Because Thomas and I know Beatrice, and we know the work that she did, and we were dealing with her before it all came out publicly. So he has no idea what he's talking about whatsoever. Fuck him.
Exactly.
Next on What Mike Really Thinks.
Well, just got to bring it up and we'll get there. Okay, we got a little bit left. Avi, here we go.
Rays introduce a background. You cannot avoid that. So let's just not confuse cosmic rays with UFOs. Okay, that was the only point I made. And they said, "Oh, we are confident it's not cosmic rays." But why is there this anti-correlation? It must mean
you can't prove there's an anti-correlation, Avi, except the words coming out of your mouth. So if you could prove that there actually was going on at that point in time, please bring on the proof, because there's plates from all over the world at that time.
Give them a few seconds to Google it.
mean that at least some of the sources are cosmic rays, because otherwise you wouldn't get. Why would the UFOs care about geomagnetic storms this way? You know, and the other thing is that now that the CIA report came out, I'm still wondering if there could be human-made objects that are part of the other transients that they saw, and they saw transients near nuclear test sites, and obviously that's a very good location for
military bases. Yeah, the Tic Tac was seen right off the coast here. Yeah,
or the U.S. military trying to monitor the conditions before the explosion takes place. Yeah.
The transients were in geosynchronous Earth orbit in space. What the fuck is he talking about over nuclear facilities? Is he out of his mind? You know, listen, I do not suffer fools easily. And when I see something like this with him, I go all bully butcher. I can't take this. He is just really digging himself deeper and putting his foot right in his mouth.
This is the head of our science council for UAP.
Oh, that was one of the biggest mistakes I think they made so far by putting him in there.
Yeah,
it's insulting. It really is.
Oh, it is.
So that's what brings the Billy Butcher out in me when I hear shit like this.
Somewhere in here. All right, so back to one of the things I wanted to bring up today. Lou Elizondo is detailed in different podcasts and stuff in the past. And there's 5 pillars that he has to go ahead and discuss, if you want to call it, the 5 pillars of UAP engagement.
Yeah,
it's a strategic framework. He and collaborators, including Chris Mellon, developed to advance public and institutional awareness of UAP and UFO issues. This approach was outlined in presentation interviews starting in 2021. We covered this stuff here. We've talked with Lou about it. Vinny from Disclosure team was the first person to go ahead and get that information there. So let's talk about some of the pillars, at least that Grok remembers at this point. I've got some slides we can bring up and go into as well. So we're talking about his first pillar is science and academia, encouraging rigorous scientific study, removing taboo in research communities, and integrating UAP into legitimate scientific inquiry via observables like the 5 characteristics Lou also often highlighted with his instantaneous acceleration, hypersonic velocities without signatures, transmedium travel, etc. From government standpoint, government, Congress, and legislative pushing for transparency, oversight, funding, and policy changes through congressional briefings, legislation, and declassification efforts. This pillar is seeing notable progress with the UAP hearings in RO, especially what's been coming on from the federal government. Science and academia, we've got Avi's. Whether we like it or not, there's a bunch of scientists that are there to bring out the truth. Next one is media, working with mainstream media outlets to shift coverage from fringe tabloid to serious national security science topic, reducing ridicule and increasing reporting. I think we're kind of there on that one. Public, broad education and destigmatization so witnesses feel safe reporting, and the public demands accountability and information. I think we're there. Number 5, religious and faith communities, or sometimes industry, private sector, addressing theological, philosophical implications and engaging faith leaders as disclosure could intersect with the beliefs about creation, existence, etc. Some references frame the 5th as a broader societal and industry engagement.
Oh, we're there already.
Yeah, we're there on many fronts.
Yeah, they're calling it demons. So yeah, we're getting engagement, all right.
Yeah.
So we got 4 of the 5 so far.
Yeah, we did, very much so. And if I can find the window that I've got popped up here, somewhere around here with disclosure research. This is from this is from Lou's slide deck. Where's it at? Phase, pillar 4, pillar 3, pillar 2, pillar 2, pillar 1. Okay, so Lou started off talking about the creation of a new federal laboratory, which we went through earlier. The next one we had was, Lou talking about disclosure, the noun, the action of making new or secret information known, which is where we're at right now. Pillar 1, he talked about back in 2021, was a pillar of legislative engagement. And you know what, Mike? They've tried this pillar of legislative engagement, but you know what? It's been unsuccessful. They haven't been able to get shit done. Irrespective, it's ensuring the lawmakers in the U.S. are provided relevant, accurate UAP information by qualified experts. Next, facilities. Educated decision facilitates educated decisions to properly fund UAP efforts within the United States government, talking about annual budget cycles. That, yeah, we've had Rush come out recently saying billions of dollars is being spent on this yearly, Mike. And the biggest thing we got last night was it's not just billions of our tax dollars. They're funding they're running criminal enterprises to fund some of these UAP programs, Mike.
Like they did in the Iran-Contra scandal in the 80s under Reagan.
So the next
Here
one,
we go
in
again.
21 said, allows for better oversight and decreasing, if you want to call it, excessive security. Remember, we're supposed to have an 180-day report and 90-day reports of UAP issues coming out from ARO. It never happened. Permits dialogue between constituents and elected officials regarding UAP. Tim's out there all the time talking about it. Promotes media acceptance with interviews of members in open hearings and enables international dialogue with other governments and parliaments. But I don't think that's really gone on that much in the public, has it?
No, wait. We played that press conference from the representative of Space Force that said that they were working with other governments around the world on this topic.
Globally,
remember?
that's right.
So we got that.
Yeah, we did. Pillar 2 that Lou would outline with Christopher Mellon at that time is executive engagement from the White House. Ensuring the bureaucracy can manage and execute the will of the legislative branch. Here's what's going on, Mike. The legislative branch didn't get shit done, but the executive branch is moving on without them.
Right.
Allows for the defense and intelligence communities to prioritize UAP data collection. Yeah, they're doing it right now, aren't they?
They've been doing that for UAP data collection.
Enables intra, and intergovernment efforts to be coordinated. What do you mean that intra? What is it called?
The governance board is what he's talking about.
Yeah,
that we just got.
But he's talking about this in 2021.
I understand. 5 years ago. I get it.
Encourages resources to be and time investment. Eliminates stovepipes of previous UAP efforts and ensures proper oversight of UAP activities. That sounds like what's going on right now, doesn't it?
It does, yes. Very clearly.
Pillar 3. Let's bring it up. International engagement.
Japan.
This, I think we still need more work on. Well, synchronizes UFO efforts with other nations, i.e. Japan.
Yep.
Again, this is in 2021. And this stuff with Japan just happened like a month or so ago.
Not even. So
establishes the opportunities for the intelligence sharing of sharing of UAP data with NATO, OTAN, UN, and Five Eyes.
We know our government has been sharing with the Five Eyes. There was an announcement
that we have an agreement of information sharing about UAP 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Removes individual burdens of nation and leverages partnership to share the responsibility like NORAD. We're not there yet. Minimizes one's ability to control the narrative. That's true, because if we're bringing it out and other countries start bringing it out, it's more of a global issue and not just something the U.S. is bringing out. It encourages joint research and development efforts and increases collaboration. And lastly, it helps maintain a common operating picture while minimizing misunderstanding and adversarial provocations.
No, we're not there yet either.
No.
But we're getting there. We'll see where it goes.
Mainstream media engagement.
We got
socializes the reality of UAP to the broad audience. I think we're there.
We are.
It destigmatizes the topic, and yes, it is, unless you're from the UK.
Well, when we heard those horny old women on The View talking about fucking aliens, we got mainstream media engagement.
Yep. Further encourages legislative and executive branch involvement. Well, the executive branch, my friend, is in the driver's seat. The legislative branch have accidentally fallen off their chair, and there's a giant cucumber up their ass that they need to extract. Provides data to massive information consumer base. Yeah, it is. Creates positive pressure for scientific and academic communities. Well, it does, because actually in the academic fence area, Mike, there are actually colleges starting to teach courses on this. Yes. It increases government transparency and provides a platform for new theories. Necessary dialogue. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Yeah, we're a fan-funded program. We've got 143 likes, 337 people watching. If you're watching the show, you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, folks. We'd love to have you as a regular here on Disclosure tonight. We work hard to put this detail together and deliver you a 2-hour program, freaking 6 days a week at this point. Oh boy, it may slow down depending on what's going on. Just be careful if some nights we don't have a show, and I'll put up a short video telling you we're off for the night. But and provides a platform for new theories. It does. That is pillar 4. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it. And if you haven't gone and given us a thumbs up, please do. Again, 341 people watching, only 146 likes. What are we doing wrong, Daryl? Thank you very much for that super chat. Appreciate it, my friend.
You're very welcome. Absolutely. More national security funds.
Exactly. That's pillar 4. And pillar 5 is public engagement. Here we go. Enables the public to take part in UAP conversation like nightly news and everywhere. Yes, we're seeing it in the news everywhere. Allows for endorsement for the other 4 pillars. Promoting what we need to do to learn about disclosure, bolsters the ability to fund and budget UAP studies in both government and private sectors. Yeah, we got Galileo Project, but we've got Plantier and other billionaires out there trying to figure out how can we monetize this. Next, creates a platform for grassroots enclaves to exist and thrive on YouTube, like here, Twitter, social media, etc. It facilitates a confederated effort and data crowdsourcing environment. Let's get the data and share it with everybody, and helps create a new political platforms and agendas. Yeah, Disclosure Party, Disclosurist, why not? Again, this is what Lou Elizondo put out like 5 years ago. And what I saw what's going on this week, first we had Avi Loeb talk about his science council, right? which is one of the pillars. And now we have this governance board that's going over for, to try and declassify stuff throughout.
A whole of government approach.
The whole
like
of government approach for this and everything. And I reached out to Lou today.
Yeah.
I can find my fucking, there it is. All right. So I reached out to Lou. And what did I say?
You asked him about the 5 pillars. Is this what's going on?
Hey, hope all is well. Quick question for you. Well, I could be wrong. Are we seeing the foundation in D.C. being rolled out for what you detailed as the 5 pillars of UAP engagement?
Right. And tell the audience what he said.
A wink and precisely.
So we got confirmation.
Confirmation, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So the game Lou Elizondo's been playing for a while is finally coming together, and we're witnessing it. We're a part of it. So, what is the old thing Lou used to say? Disclosure is a marathon. It's not a sprint. But we are in the marathon. Disclosure has started. Things are going to move along. Things are going to get a little bumpy along the way. But hang out with your friends here at Disclosure tonight, and we'll help you figure out how to get there. That's why we're
right.
Here. We've been in this for a long time, and we're going to continue because
it seems like it's moving in the right direction. Yeah, and we're going to follow it every step of the way like we have been.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's why the audience comes. They want to see.
You can look
they
at
want to
stuff
know.
and you can be a Debbie Downer or a negative Nancy, whatever it is. Just know we've got a great platform. We're moving forward slowly day by day. But, it's going to move forward. And we'll be here with it, Mike.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Our audience will be there with us.
Look, we get frustrated and pissed off as well. Not just the audience. But we're open and honest about that. Look at... I just went full Billy Butcher on Avi Loeb's ass. But that's being honest about his lies and deception and the bullshit he's putting out there. But we will put the audience on the right track.
Billy Butcher going on Homelander's ass.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Anyone who's a fan of the boys knows exactly what I'm talking about. But, yeah, that's just what's going on. And if you come to the show, we'll show you everything that we see and we know is happening.
God, I can't believe we've gone through 2 hours already.
Oh, we've been doing that a lot lately, blowing right through the 2 hours.
I think we've got, we still haven't gone back to go over that episode with Christopher Mellon yet. And he had a lot of great things to say, which means I guess we've got a show again tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been a fun conversation tonight and the night before. So, yeah, it'll be good.
Absolutely, my friends. I want to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. Yeah, we made it one more day. God, we've been doing this every day for a month and a half now, Mike.
I know. It's okay. It's been fun. It's been fun for us. It's been fun for the audience. So
we're having a great time. We're having a great time. National security, folks. If you haven't joined in, it's time to join in now.
We're here.
Woo.
Yeah.
Daryl, cheers. Bring it back. Say something. Cheers, Mike. Hold it there. Clink. There we go. Yes.
Charge
it.
Yeah,
That's from the Flintstones. All right, I want to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. More importantly, I want to go ahead and thank everybody for your wonderful super chats tonight. Daryl is here through and out. We had one from Necessary Dialogue. We had Lisa Trusty. Thank you very much. Neuron Streams. A bunch of new people giving us super chats. Thank you much. We're a fan-funded program, and we get some money. We throw it back into the program with equipment and technology and stuff. But yeah, we're basically unpaid for what we could really do, but you know what? We're altruistic and we do it for everybody out there. Thank you, everyone, for coming out to this episode. Also, E-Dub, thank you very much for that super chat. And I also want to thank our friends in the back. Nick, what's up? You haven't said anything tonight. You okay?
You just joined.
Okay, that's why. Daryl, thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for the surveys.
Absolutely. Now that the pole is greased, expect many more in polls.
There we go. Mike, thanks for coming out, my friend.
Oh, my pleasure. It was a hell of a show, Thomas. Thanks for doing this.
And
Been
everyone
fun.
else in the back, thank you for coming around. And as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, no, not that. Eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody. But come on.
Go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We'll catch you in the flip side. See you tomorrow, everybody. Y'all come back now. Here.